I'm nervous, not just because of the giant Shon Morris head that sits behind my right shoulder. It's because we've really pumped up the impressing Shon Morris segment this week. So while I'm a little nervous, the pressure falls squarely on your shoulders.
Well, first of all, every time that thing appears, fertility rates throughout the free world decline. So someone's going to be held responsible for that. But let's move forward, Rick.
Shall we?
Yeah.
What is impressing you these days? Let's start in College Park.
The Maryland freshmen just continue to impress me, and it's not just because of what they've been able to put up in terms of their stat line, but they've just started to learn how to compete at this level. They have maintained their composure throughout this year. This is a team people are trying to kind of figure out, you know, what they were going to be like after the moving on of guys like Diamond Stone and Robert Carter Jr. and Jake Layman to the NBA, and how are they going to respond? And they have responded admirably well, and they've allowed Melo Trimble to kind of assume the same role that he had as a freshman, where he's able to now to play off the basketball. But what these guys, and in particular Anthony Cowan, have done has been extremely, extremely impressive.
And Cowan, I think, has put up the most consistent numbers, but you have NBA scouts drooling over Justin Jackson because he's basically an 18-year-old man, if you've seen his body. And Kevin Huerter plays kind of an old-school game, but both guys, all three guys, get things done in different ways.
Yeah, I don't think Justin Jackson he may start to figure out how good he can be. I don't think he really knows how good he can be at this point in time. And Kevin Huerter, you know, he can shoot the basketball, but defensively, he's light years ahead of what you usually see from a traditional incoming freshman. They play very, very fearlessly. And the thing I like about Jackson and Huerter in particular, their expression never changes. You can't read how the game is going, and that's something that usually takes a little bit more of collegiate time to acquire.
No situation seems too big for them, and I think that is innate. That can't really be taught. They've only been on campus for so long. Next item on our rundown, it says Northwestern wings. And when Shon is sitting this close to me and I see wings, and both of us live in the general vicinity of Northwestern, I think we have a date to go kill some more dead bird. But that's not the case. You're actually talking about the Wildcats.
Yeah, and that wings was by design. I wanted to make sure I got your attention and you were paying attention. But Northwestern's wings and Vic Law and Scotty Lindsey, I don't think you're going to find a better duo. You may find a duo in the league that's as good as these two, but you're not going to find any that are better. For this reason, you take a look at what they give this team, almost 30 points per ball game between them. They rebound the ball at an elite level. Vic Law shut down Peter Jock for long periods of time. You put Scotty Lindsey to the foul line, he'll knock it down 87% of the time. Vic Law, one of the best athletes in this conference, coming off that shoulder injury from a year ago. And when they needed them to convert, most recently against Ohio State from the foul line, they stepped up there very, very confidently and knocked it down. Those two guys are a big reason that Northwestern finds themselves in the positive position that they do now, especially now when you consider the fact that Bryant McIntosh, up until the last couple of games, had struggled offensively.
As we get closer and closer to Selection Sunday, each Northwestern win brings with it a glimmer more of hope that this could be the year. And no, this conversation is not going to end anytime soon. So I hope you don't get tired of us talking about Northwestern potentially getting to the NCAA tournament. What's impressed you the most about Indiana over the last week or so?
This is a team in the Indiana Hoosiers, Rick, that struggled to a 1-3 start in the conference. They've reeled off 3 straight wins, and they've done it overcoming some adversity. Most recently, the injury to O.J. Anunoby. You weren't sure how they were going to respond against a team coming into Bloomington in the form of the Michigan State Spartans, but they responded admirably. They've won 3 straight games to get themselves right back into the conference mix. They have another couple of outstanding opportunities coming up down the road. But this is a team that you weren't really sure how they were going to respond. They were 1-3. People were starting to get down on them a little bit. But they beat a pretty good Rutgers team. Rutgers pushed them for long periods of time. They go on the road to a team in Penn State. They hit a 3-pointer from Blackman to win that ball game, and then they just found a way to grind out a win in the absence of O.G. Anunoby. And this is a team, I think Robert Johnson is a guy that gets overlooked consistently for what he means not only to his team, but throughout the conference. That's a guy that's a pretty good barometer. When he plays well, this team plays well, and you have to like Indiana right now, especially the way they've responded to some adversity.
All right, we're going to transition from the present, what's impressing you, to this past weekend and what already impressed you. And I understand you had a fairly nice encounter with call him a celebrity, and it left an awfully nice impression on you.
In my eyes, yeah. You know, I had an opportunity to be in Lincoln, Nebraska earlier last week and calling a great game there between Ohio State and Nebraska, which went down to the end. And I'm sitting there, and as you know, I'm a patron of the arts, Rick. I like to support, get out there. I'm a Renaissance guy in my own way. And Larry the Cable Guy walks in. I was excited. I mean, I was very, very excited. Oh, what a great photo that is. Yeah. Whew, there goes his career. But anyway, he was sitting there, and what impressed me in all seriousness is this is a guy that has never forgotten where he came from, and he was sitting courtside, and there was a line of people of all ages lined up to meet this guy. He took time to speak with everybody. It was a big thrill for me, and the guy knows his Husker sports. I mean, he's a big football fan. He goes to every game.
Well, look, he's sporting the Husker sweatshirt right there. You like that monitor shot better?
I like that one a little better. And the thing that's not showing, another reason I like the guy, what was it, January? He was wearing shorts. I like it.
Solid move.
I like that.
It's a solid move.
But in all seriousness, you know, there's a lot of people who have accomplished far less than this guy has, who just, you know, blows people off and doesn't talk to them. I just was so impressed that he took the time to talk to everybody, and he even took time to talk to me. And it was a big thrill. If it wouldn't have been after 10 o'clock, I'd have told my wife about it, but she was long asleep.
Sure, and now after the meeting, Shon Morris doesn't have heartburn anymore. I mean,